Many older adults stay fairly active after 60. We eat regular meals. We take short walks every day, and we try to keep moving. But even with those efforts, our leg muscles can quietly grow weaker, and we often don't notice it until everyday movements start to feel harder. This isn't always because of aging, and it's not necessarily from lack of exercise. In some cases, it's what's on our plate that's doing the damage. Everyday foods that quietly trigger inflammation and slowly chip away at our muscle strength without us realizing. In today's video, we're going to look at 3 common food groups that are best avoided if we want to keep our legs strong, steady, and supportive for years to come. No extreme dieting here, just a better understanding of what's happening inside the body and a few smart shifts that can help prevent weakness, improve stability, and make it easier to stand, walk, and move around comfortably. So if protecting your legs after 60 is a priority, be sure to stay with us through the entire video. And don't forget to like, share with someone you care about, and subscribe to the channel. But it's one of the easiest ways we can all support healthy aging, starting with what's on our plate. 1. Fried foods. We've all been there standing in line, tempted by the golden crunch of fries or the smell of fried chicken fresh out of the fryer. They're tasty, convenient, and often make a meal feel more filling. But here's what many people over 60 don't realize: those same fried foods might be quietly causing muscle inflammation, draining power from our legs and making it harder to walk, stand, or get up from a chair as time goes on. After 60, our bodies become more prone to a condition called low-grade chronic inflammation, often referred to as silent inflammation. It doesn't cause fever or swelling like an infection would, but it sticks around and gradually targets the muscles, especially the larger ones in our legs. One of the major reasons this silent inflammation tends to get worse as we age lies in the kinds of oils used to fry our foods, especially those oils are processed or overheated, like soybean oil, sunflower oil, or corn oil. When these oils are heated to high temperatures, they produce compounds called AGEs, short for advanced glycation end products. These are harmful molecules formed when fat and protein are heavily cooked together, like in deep frying. Once we eat them, AGEs enter our bloodstream, settle into our muscle and nerve tissue, and trigger inflammation and oxidative stress. Inflamed muscle tissue can't repair itself properly. On top of that, inflammation blocks the natural protein-building process that keeps our muscles strong. There's another layer to this that often goes unnoticed, and it has to do with the kind of fats created when oil is reused over and over again, which leads to something called trans fats. Trans fats activate the immune system in a way that disrupts muscle repair signals, making it harder for the body to rebuild healthy tissue. This speeds up muscle loss, especially in the legs, which carry most of our weight and do most of the work when we move. Let's picture a typical lunch: a fried chicken sandwich, a side of fries, maybe a sugary dipping sauce. It's fast and tasty, but inside the body, this combo is what scientists call a pro-inflammatory bomb. It disrupts metabolism, promotes oxidative damage, and gradually chips away at our leg strength. One study published in the Journal of Cachexia, Sarcopenia and Muscle in 2024 made this connection crystal clear. The researchers found that eating high amounts of age-rich foods, especially fried and ultra-processed items, was directly linked to whole-body inflammation, muscle protein imbalance, and reduced physical function in older adults. Even better, the study showed that just cutting back on fried foods each week helped reduce inflammation and preserved muscle strength in seniors. So instead of sticking to the usual fried favorites, which are convenient but come with long-term risks, we can start gently adjusting our habits to support stronger legs. No need to cut fried foods out completely, but the less we rely on industrial frying, the less silent inflammation our muscles have to fight. If we still want meals that are delicious and gentle on the body, we can switch to methods like baking, steaming, or air frying. These keep the flavor while avoiding the harmful compounds created by overheated oils. And when it comes to oils, choosing healthier options like olive oil, avocado oil, or coconut oil and cooking at moderate temperatures can go a long way in calming inflammation. We can also swap fried meats with protein-rich alternatives like grilled fish, steamed chicken, lentils, or black beans. These aren't just good for the muscles. They're also easy on digestion and kind to the heart. Little by little, as we adjust the way we prepare our food, we're building strength in our legs without sacrificing flavor and without turning every meal into a math equation. 2. Refined sugar and sweets. A silent enemy of muscle strength. Once we're past 60, one of the most important things we can do to protect our muscle mass, especially in our legs, is to make sure our bodies are actually using the protein we eat every day. It's not just about getting enough protein on the plate. It's about digesting it, absorbing it, and turning it into real, functional muscle. And yet, there is one group of foods that seems completely unrelated to muscle health, but quietly interferes with this process every single day. We're talking about refined sugar and industrial sweets, things like candy, pastries, sweetened cereal, cookies, and soda may seem harmless, and they often show up at breakfast or snack time for older adults. Sweet foods are easy to enjoy, especially when our sense of taste isn't as sharp as it used to be. But when consumed regularly, refined sugar starts to disrupt one of the most important hormonal systems for maintaining muscle insulin sensitivity. Insulin isn't just the hormone that manages blood sugar. It also acts as a signal for muscle building. It tells the body, we've got fuel now. Let's repair and grow muscle. But when we eat sugary foods too often, blood sugar spikes rapidly. In response, the body produces more and more insulin to keep things in balance. Over time, our cells begin to ignore those signals, a condition known as insulin resistance. And once this resistance sets in, the muscles can no longer respond properly. Even if we're eating plenty of high-quality protein, the body struggles to convert it into muscle. It's like having the right materials, but no one shows up to build the house. The impact goes even deeper. High sugar intake also creates a chronic inflammatory environment in the body. This kind of low-level, long-lasting inflammation puts the immune system on constant alert, pumping out chemicals that interfere with the muscle-building process. Meanwhile, the breakdown of muscle speeds up. The result: we begin losing muscle faster than we can rebuild it, especially in the legs, where strength and stamina are most needed to stay steady and mobile. Now, we might think that having a cookie after lunch or a soda in the afternoon is no big deal, but when that becomes a daily pattern, repeated week after week, it quietly leads to long-term metabolic imbalance. But over time, that pattern takes a toll and the cost shows up in our strength, stamina, and stability. A 2024 report in the Journal of Gerontology Biological Sciences took a close look at this exact issue. Researchers found that diets high in refined sugar significantly reduced the body's ability to build muscle, even when total protein intake was adequate. They also discovered that older adults who cut their added sugar intake to below 6% of daily calories had slower rates of muscle loss and better endurance when walking or climbing stairs. The good news is this habit is easier to change than it seems. If we still want sweetness in our meals, we can switch to fresh fruits like apples, blueberries, or bananas. These satisfy sweet cravings while also delivering fiber, which helps slow sugar absorption and protect insulin sensitivity. Even dark chocolate with a high cocoa content and in small amounts can be a satisfying alternative to industrial sweets. It gives us that indulgent flavor without causing a sudden spike in blood sugar. As for drinks, if we've been used to sweetened coffee or sugary sodas, we can gradually shift to plain water, unsweetened cold brew, or even sparkling water with no added sugar. These may seem like small changes at first, but over time, they help the body restore insulin responsiveness and support efficient protein uptake into muscle tissue, which is critical for preserving leg strength. When we make these gentle adjustments, we're not just cutting back on sugar, we're giving our legs a better chance to stay strong, steady, and reliable for the long haul. 3. Salty foods. When we think about salt, we often associate it with blood pressure. But the truth is, a high-sodium diet does much more than that, especially when it comes to weakening our muscles, including those in our legs. As we get older, our bodies naturally lose some of their ability to balance fluids and minerals. That's part of aging. And when we eat too much salt, the body responds by trying to flush out the extra sodium, mainly through the kidneys. But in doing so, the kidneys don't just remove salt. They also pull out key minerals like potassium and calcium, both of which are critical for strong, responsive muscles. Potassium acts like a messenger between the brain and muscles, controlling signals that help us move. Calcium, on the other hand, helps the actual muscle fibers contract smoothly. When we lose too much of these minerals, muscle cells become less responsive. They stop reacting the way they used to. That's when we might start feeling heaviness in our legs, getting cramps more often, or struggling to stay steady on our feet. Even walking a short distance may suddenly feel like a chore. Another issue with salt is fluid retention. To balance out high sodium levels, the body holds on to water, storing it in tissues. This leads to swelling, tightness, and heaviness in the legs, especially toward the end of the day. When our muscle tissues are compressed by water, blood flow slows down. That means less oxygen and fewer nutrients reach the muscles. And when that happens, they start to weaken from the inside out. What makes things even trickier is that many of us don't even realize how much salt we're actually eating. So many packaged foods like canned soup, deli meats, sausages, crackers, and frozen meals are loaded with sodium, even if they don't taste especially salty. A lunch that seems light, say, a bowl of chicken soup with a roll, can contain nearly 500 milligrams of sodium, which is almost the entire daily limit recommended for older adults. One study published in the Journal of Applied Physiology in 2023 explored how sodium affects muscle function in older adults. Researchers found that a high-sodium diet lowers blood potassium levels and disrupts the electrical activity in muscle cell membranes. That leads to weaker contractions and increased fatigue. What's more, these effects were noticeable within just a few weeks of consistently eating salty meals and got progressively worse without dietary changes. Instead of letting all that hidden sodium slip by unnoticed, we can gently shift our habits in a way that supports muscle health without giving up flavor. The first step is becoming more aware of where the salt is coming from. Most of the time, it's not the salt shaker. It's the processed and pre-packaged foods where salt is added for preservation, not flavor. Cooking at home gives us the freedom to season with natural alternatives like black pepper, turmeric, basil, or even just a splash of lemon juice with olive oil. Many people find that, after gradually cutting back on salt, their taste buds become more sensitive, and they no longer crave strong seasoning the way they used to. Another helpful habit is to add more potassium-rich foods into our meals to restore electrolyte balance. Bananas, avocados, sweet potatoes, spinach, and black beans are all great choices. They're easy to find, easy to cook, and they help keep our leg muscles flexible and strong without relying on supplements. Keeping our sodium intake low and our potassium levels steady is one of the most overlooked but powerful ways to protect our legs. When our muscles are nourished, well circulated, and free from swelling, the difference is noticeable. Our steps feel more stable, our legs feel less tired, and we begin to regain strength we may not have even realized we'd lost. We often think that leg strength is all about staying active. And yes, exercise matters, but as we've learned, the foods we eat every day quietly play a huge role in either supporting or weakening our leg muscles. So let's go over the 4 key points we've uncovered today. First, fried foods, especially those cooked in industrial oils, at high heat trigger inflammation and make it harder for muscles to heal and stay strong over time. Second, refined sugar and sweet snacks don't just spike blood sugar. They interfere with how the body uses protein, leading to muscle loss in the legs even when we think we're eating well. Third, salty foods don't just raise blood pressure. They quietly drain the body of potassium, cause fluid buildup, and make muscles weaker, more tired, and more prone to cramping. The solution isn't about extreme dieting or giving up all your favorite meals. It's about smart, gentle swaps like cooking at home with healthier oils, choosing natural sweetness from fruit, and focusing on potassium-rich veggies. And if you've ever felt like your legs aren't as strong as they used to be, if standing for too long makes you shaky, Or walking a few blocks feels harder than it should? The answer might not be in a pill bottle. The answer might be in your kitchen cabinet. If you found today's video helpful either for yourself or for someone you care about, go ahead and like this video, subscribe to the channel, and share it with anyone who might benefit. And if you've ever wondered whether a certain food might be affecting your muscles, or if you've experienced unexplained leg weakness, leave a comment below. Let's start a conversation. We'll see you again in the next video where we continue to stay strong, stay informed, and live better, one step at a time.